Good morning and good afternoon. Welcome to another episode of Before Coffee. It is our Thursday's 13 episode. We've got a list of the fastest growing cities. I think population rise, right? You're saying their population is rising like a rocket into space.
Yeah, well,
yeah.
The latest data I could obtain, which ends in 2020, so.
Yeah, so we're going to tell you what those 13 cities that are rising up and also some more stories, just some updates on anything that's going on. I mean, he's only going to have one story, but I'm going to have I think 4 stories to tell you about. So let's get into it. This is Before Coffee, the father and daughter comprehensive news of Planet Earth podcast, where we look up our stories 15 minutes before we begin. We just got some caffeine in our body. I just woke Roger up, and I've been up because I actually went longboarding today, and we're learning how to read our articles live on stream. So let's get into these headlines. Yeah. Today on Thursday's 13, Spanish airline denies reports that passengers were removed from a plane because they are Jewish, and Eurozone growth surprises in July. Is the worst really over?
Hey, this is Roger from the United States, where we have war starting between Cambodia and Thailand, perhaps. SpaceX worker injury rates at Starbase outpace industry.
UK and India sign historic £6 billion free trade agreement during Modi visit.
And on Thursday's 13, we're going to talk about the 13th fastest growing cities in the world as of 2020.
South Park targets Paramount after signing $1.5 billion deal and skewers Trump. He can do anything to anyone.
It's National Cousins Day. So everybody, I'm pretty sure most people have a cousin. So, and if you're in Appalachia, you marry one. But anyway, cousin. National Cousin Day on July 24th, 2020. On Before Coffee. Sorry, Appalachia.
This is exactly why some Americans argue that the U.S. is just as diverse as the rest of Europe, because you've got people region hating, damn, those Appalachians, those Midwesterners don't know anything. I'm from Texas. I'm a real American.
Oh, yeah.
All these people.
There is certainly diversity. There's cities that were founded by German populations, right? It's just one of those things.
Well, I mean, as somebody who's from New Mexico, I would definitely argue, the Southwest is way more, connected to Mexico than it is to American culture, especially since there's so many people from South America and Mexico living in those states.
Oh, don't tell the white people. They think they discovered it.
Yeah.
Some of them do.
People always say remember the Alamo, but they don't remember why to remember it, because Americans got their ass beat by the Mexicans and they all died. Texas belongs to America. Yeah.
Well, there was actually a bunch of brown people fighting on the side of the Alamo too, but they're not immortalized.
No.
And again, Mexico was a shitty country. And there's no denying
just like
that,
any imperialistic country, because Mexico was an empire.
Right.
North Mexico and South Mexico, totally different people. Even Central Mexico, they're all different tribes.
Absolutely. Mexico was caused. You go back to Spain again. Spain caused all that ridiculous nonsense by just debilitating the local populations and stuff. At least the English tried to get along with them at first. At first.
And the Dutch just gave them blankets. We were just trying to help you. Yeah, they take these blankets.
Yeah, have some smallpox, everybody. Yeah, not worry.
We didn't know diseases existed.
Right,
our first segue is going to be Reminds Me of a Song. And lucky we're talking about Spain, because we're going to be talking about Spain for this first story.
Okay.
This is all about a Spanish airline, which I'm sure they'll actually tell me what the name of the airline is, maybe. Vueling. That doesn't sound very Spanish. That sounds Dutch.
Reminds me of a song. That's a tough one. Okay.
It's Spanish, okay? I've been told by by someone in the house that it is Spanish. Anyways, this is from Suman Nashadam on AP News, coming out of Madrid. Several dozen French passengers were removed from a flight leaving the Spanish city of Valencia for Paris for what Spanish police and the airline on today, the 24th of July, right? Yes, the 24th of July described as unruly behavior. Something as vague as that is not very telling. The carrier Vueling denied reports that Wednesday's incident on the 23rd of July, which involved the removal of 44 minors and 8 adults from the flight V8166, was related to the passenger's religion. That is a lot of people they removed from a flight. Like I bet you there's 2 unruly adults, and they were like, well, you can't take us all off because we're the chaperones for these 44 minors. Well, then you're all off. That sounds like they should have made a charter flight. 44 minors and 8 adults. That sounds like isn't it cheaper to have a charter flight in that case? Some Israeli news outlets reported that the students are Jewish and that the removal was religiously motivated, a claim that was repeated by an Israeli minister online. Well, that's what Israeli ministers say. If anything bad happens to an Israeli person, it's anti-Semitism. It's like actually they actually did something worth getting removed.
I won't take the Israeli government seriously. I won't take the Israeli government seriously until they get a new government. Sorry, they're a bunch of fascists.
Spain's civil guard said the minors and adults are French nationals, not Israeli. A civil guard spokesperson said the agents involved were not aware of the group's religious affiliation. A Vueling spokesperson said the passengers were removed after the minors repeatedly tampered with the plane's emergency equipment and interrupted the crew's safety demonstration. Were they 6 years old? A group of passengers engaged in highly disruptive behavior and adopted a very confrontational attitude, putting at risk the safe conduct of the flight, Vueling said in a statement. We categorically deny any suggestion that our crew's behavior related to the religion of the passengers involved. A civil guard spokesperson said the captain of the plane ordered the removal of the minors from the plane at the Valencia's Manises airport after they repeatedly ignored the crew's instructions. I bet you they never even take off, right? I think you do that safety stuff right before you take off. And they didn't even, they were still on the runway. It's like, all right, let's go back to the gate. You guys are getting off. On the 24th of July today, on Thursday, the Federation for Jewish Communities of Spain expressed concern about the incident. The group said that Vueling needed to provide a documentary evidence of what happened on the plane. The various accounts circulating on social media and in the media to which we have had access do not clarify the cause of the incident, the organization said. We are particularly interested in clarifying whether there were any possible religiously discriminatory motives for the minors, said. Civil Guard said 23 minors and 2 adults from the group boarded a flight belonging to another airline, while the rest spent the 23rd of July's night at a hotel. Spokesperson said arrangements are being made for them to leave Valencia later today. Well, they've probably already left. 4 p.m. now, so if they were going to leave, they're probably already got on a plane somewhere. Though this story was only posted at 3 p.m., so maybe they haven't. Maybe they are still waiting for their plane later today. Maybe a night plane. But there's your not really important news, just some unconsequential news about Spain possibly being anti-Semitic. I actually recently learned that there was a very specific population of Jews living in Spain for a very long time. And you know how we have Yiddish, which is like English/German, and the original, what do Jewish people speak, or?
What do they speak? They spoke Hebrew until they had it was
Hebrew,
banned, and
sorry.
they spoke Yiddish.
Yes, Yiddish is the combination of German and some English with Hebrew,
it's
right?
Made up language
because they weren't allowed to speak Hebrew, because that would be a big tell that you're Jewish. So they made their own language in order to still talk in a.
That's where you get. That's where you get words like putz from, right?
Yeah, exactly. But I learned that Spain also had its own form of Yiddish, but like, I guess Spittish. It was Spanish and Hebrew combined. So,
Cool. Like
so
Spanglish.
it's really interesting because they went from calling Saturday the Spanish word for Saturday, which I don't know what it is because I can't remember. Sabir, I think. And they went back to Shabbat, which is the original Hebrew word for Saturday. So, but then if you look at the history of the word Saturday in Spanish, it's actually also derivative of the word Sabbat. So,
Why?
the word Sabbat turned into the Spanish word for Saturday, and then it went back to Sabbat for the people speaking, I guess, Spittish or whatever you want to call it. Anyways, those are fun facts.
Right?
That remind you of a song?
Okay. By Elton John. Take me. But hey, it's probably about, take me to who's in charge of what the hell I'm doing, because I don't know what I'm doing. But anyway, it reminded me of that song right away. Take me to the pilot.
Pilot, these guys are rowdy. We're kicking them off the plane. My next story.
That's right.
Is about the Eurozone. We've talked a couple of times about the inflation and business sector in the United States, of course, because of all those tariffs and stuff. But how is the Eurozone doing? Some people are saying the worst might be over. This is on Euronews by, let me find, Piero Cingari. Eurozone economic growth picked up in July, driven by services and stabilizing factory activity, suggesting a stronger start in the third quarter. Manufacturing showed signs of recovery, while inflation eased, offering cautious optimism for the bloc's outlook. Economic activity in the Eurozone rose more than expected in July, signaling a stronger start to the third quarter and easing concerns that trade tensions would drag on the region's recovery. The Flash Composite Purchasing Managers Index, PMI, a closely watched gauge of the business conditions, rose from 50.6 to 51.0 in July, hitting the highest level since August of 24 and topping market expectations of 50.8. So they expected only a 0.2 increase, and instead they got a 5.5 increase because they went from 50 to 51. 50.6 to 51. Much of the rebound came from the service sector, which continues to lead the bloc's recovery in almost every economy, by the way. We have entered, and anyone who doesn't know anything about business and the economy, we have been in the service industry for a very long time, and that's why it's almost a crime, right? Oh, you don't deserve to make money because you work at McDonald's. Everyone works at McDonald's. There's no other job. Service is the primary industry in almost every economy, whether it be tourists or food or whatever. Hotels, that's all service stuff. Much of the rebound came from the service sector. The service PMI rose from 51.2 rose to 51.2 from 50.5, beating expectations of 50.7 and marking the fast expansion since January. Oh, that's almost a 1% increase. A 1 point increase there. Manufacturing, while still contracting, showed signs of stabilization. The manufacturing PMI rose to 49.8 from 49.5, the most optimistic print in 3 years, edging closer to the neutral 50 threshold. Although factory new orders declined again, the pace slowed and overall production neared equilibrium. Businesses responded to stronger activity and steadier order books by hiring more staff. At the same time, cost pressures eased. The pace of inflation dropped to a 9-month low and remained below the historical average. Dr. Cyrus de la Rubia, chief economist at the Hamburg Commercial Bank, HCOB, struck a cautiously upbeat tone. The Eurozone economy appears to be gradually regaining momentum. The recession and the manufacturing sector is coming to an end, and growth in the service sector accelerated slightly in July, he said. He added that Hamburg Commercial Bank's GDP nowcast, which incorporates the PMI data, points to robust economic growth in the third quarter. For the European Central Bank, Signs of slowing inflation in the services are likely to be welcome, even if headline pressures persist. There is good news for the ECB, as the disinflation trend has continued in the closely watched service sector, De La Rubia said. He noted that the stronger euro and the US tariffs are likely to exert further downward pressure on prices in the coming months. Regional data continued to reveal diverging trends. Germany recorded a slight increase in output for the second month running, fueling hopes of a broader recovery. In France, we see increasing signs of recovery in the manufacturing sector, said De La Rubia, citing supporting policy measures such as more favorable depreciation rules introduced by Berlin on the 1st of July. Of course, that's just 1 month of, not even a whole month of these rules, so who knows if they're actually going to do anything. In France, activity contracted once again, though at a slowest pace in the current 11-month downturn. The latest ACOB flash PMIs from France are neither fish nor fowl, said Jonas Feldhusen, junior economist at Hamburg Commercial Bank. While momentum has been trending upwards since the beginning of the year, the index remains below the critical 50-point threshold. Hopes for a looming US-EU trade deal, which could lock in a 15% tariff on European exports to the US, lifted investors' sentiment today on the 24th of July, fueling a rally in European equities as markets looked past fears of harsher trade barriers. The STOXX 50 rose nearly 1%, while the broader STOXX 600 gained 0.7%, reflecting renewed confidence across the region. Remember, very small percentages are actually huge when it comes to economic graphing. So, a gain is a gain. I mean, 1% is definitely a huge gain. Among standout performers, Deutsche Bank surged over 6% after reporting a better than expected second quarter profit. That's right, banks still making profits. Don't forget about those guys. Reversing last year's loss. BNP Paribas also positively surprised, rising 3% after beating forecasts of both revenue and earnings. Meanwhile, LVMH, Moët Hennessy, Louis Vuitton slipped almost 2%. Oh, not Louis Vuitton! With investors bracing for potential decline in quarterly sales as headwinds continue to weigh on the luxury sector. Fuck the luxury sector. That's for rich people anyways. In currency markets, the euro held steady at a 1.1765 against the dollar, as all eyes turned to the European Central Bank. Yeah, I think when I transferred some money to myself earlier, it was at like a 0.8. This is why it's like, you have to choose when to transfer money from USD to Euro, because you can get a really good rate if you wait just a little longer, because I should have waited until July, but I think I did it back in June. The ECB is widely expected to keep its deposit rate unchanged at a 2% when it announces its latest policy decision later in the day. So there is your business news, your economic news coming out of the Eurozone. Sounds like things are going up, and the broader spectrum of the graph, it could be slight up and then it goes back down. You know, we don't know. You have to review this stuff way later in the year, at the end of the year, and you say, oh, actually July was an upturn. You know, that's when we saw it starting to go up again, or it went up a little bit and then went back down. We don't know. All this stuff is fake. It's all predictive. You can't really predict any of it. Oh, you're muted. I can't hear you.
No wonder. No wonder you
were you talking during my thing and I wasn't saying anything?
That's all right. That's all right. No problem. Who wants to interrupt it anyway? No, I was just saying that economics is either a short-term, temporary thing, or it's a long-term, thing that can be projected way into the future, and nobody ever knows which is which, because economics is not a science at all.
It's a pseudoscience.
You can't reach. Yeah, you can't reach a conclusion based on a set of data at all. You can theorize it, but you can't necessarily reach a conclusion on all the data, because you might have left something out. Economics is very complicated. And my song is Everybody Wants to Rule the World, which is
by making as much money as possible in your car manufacturing factories, it looks like.
Exactly. This is one of your more profound songs from the 80s. You might know this song. I don't know. Somebody might have remade it even.
I know that song. It was. I'm pretty sure it was. I'm pretty sure it was
somebody
in a
named
film.
Lorda made a version. Lords or something like that. I don't even know.
I think so, probably.
Singers. But I think she did a version of it because when I did a search for the lyrics, I came up with her. It says "Tears for Fears." I was like, "Tears for Fears" does this song. But the last verse goes, "I can't stand this indecision, married with a lack of vision. Everybody wants to rule the..." And then they cut it off. And anyway, it's a song about, hey, I'm not happy with wealth. I need more wealth.
I need power. I need to be the king or the queen.
What do you mean the dollar's trading low? We got to do something about that. It's a temporary condition that's ruining my life.
Oh man, I'm gonna have to double. I'm gonna have to double roll today because we're getting the same thing twice in a row.
Again, yeah, the wheel is just wants to keep returning home, right?
All right, bad pun. I'll do a bad pun for you for your story. Your one
bad
story.
Pun. We got 2 stories.
Oh,
I got 2 stories, but I'll cut one of them. Yeah, I'm gonna cut one of them down at least. First one is SpaceX. We're gonna talk about Elon Musk's company that he is stealing government money from, using to steal government money. TechCrunch.com, Alal Hodai, that's her last name, Alama Hodai, a lot of vowels. SpaceX employees are more likely to be injured while working at Starbase than any of its other manufacturing facilities, according to company workers' safety records reviewed by TechCrunch. Starbase, a sprawling launch and manufacturing site that recently incorporated as its own Texas city. Yeah, if you want to talk about growing cities in the United States, that would be the number one probably. It didn't exist, and now it's a city, so it grew from 0 to whoever lives there now, right?
But it's going to be one of those corporate cities where everyone works in the one same place, and they own your house and they own your land,
shop at the company store.
Yeah. And when you get fired, you have to move out because you're no longer working there.
Yeah, maybe next week we'll do the 13 best pro-union songs. Just to understand what workers have gone through in the past. Anyway, Starbase. I said anyway again, sorry. Anywho, how about that? Starbase is sprawling launch and manufacturing site that recently incorporated its own Texas town log injury rates that are almost 6 times higher than the average for comparable space vehicle manufacturing outfits, and nearly 3 times higher than aerospace manufacturing as a whole in 2024, according to OSHA, the Occupational Safety and Health Administration. Data released in May. That outsized injury rate has persisted since 2019 when SpaceX began sharing Starbase injury data with the federal regulator. Well, they're just going to stop sharing it now, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, they're probably going to get sued. They'll probably get sued if they don't, right? I would think, but who knows? Who knows that there's even justice anymore in America? Starbase is home to SpaceX's most ambitious program, a fully reusable, ultra-heavy lift rocket called Starship. The company has been moving at a breakneck pace to bring Starship online to launch Starlink internet satellites and other payloads. Again, this is nothing anybody needs. It's nothing anybody asks for, right? But they're doing it. I didn't ask for Starlink satellites. I don't need Starlink satellites. The world doesn't need Starlink satellites.
Some people do need them. I think if you had according to some people who use it.
All of them?
According to the people I know who use it, like somebody I knew who lives in Wales that was using it, it was way better than the shitty fucking DSLR or whatever they were getting.
Yeah, they probably had local terrible coverage. But the thing is,
I think your internet would be better.
Miles and miles in the sky. Oh, I suppose it would be better. Which are just up when they wipe out everybody else's internet, right?
Yeah,
so that's what I'm thinking.
I don't know, but we also have a lot of
nobody else will be able to get internet except through Musk and his little Starlink crap that he's got in the sky. And then, of course, there's a space junk problem, right?
I just think it's really funny that your internet was better when you were on that phone internet thing, right? When you were living in Oklahoma, your internet was way better than what you have right now.
You understand I was on on U.S. interstate highways and at truck stops.
There was no, I guess there's no clouds in the sky.
There's cell phone repeaters everywhere.
Yeah.
Sorry. Just nothing. There's no way to avoid them even. Since Starship's first orbital test in 2023, space 8 additional integrated flights. During those tests, the company made history by catching the massive booster with chopstick arms attached to its launch tower. Cool if you can reuse your booster. That's cool. It's not all just a waste of time, just most of it. The data suggests that SpaceX's rapid progress comes at a cost, and while injury rates don't provide a complete picture of the safety culture of Starbase, they do offer a rare glimpse into working conditions. World's leading space company. Is overused for one specific thing, too, I would say. Ground stations are satellites. Satellite just means that's something that does the same thing as we're doing here at the home base, but it does it remotely. That's all satellite. It doesn't mean something floating out of base. Back to the story. Standardized safety metric called total recordable incidents, TRIR, total recordable incident rate, to measure a company's safety record and compare it to industries. Blue Origin and United Launch Alliance, the publicly available data limitations, doesn't distinguish between minor injuries like stitches. Wait, stitches is a minor injury? No, a minor injury is still like breaking a nail. Stitches? That means you're bleeding, dude. Okay, anyway. Versus serious incidents such as amputations. Oh, amputations are the only things considered serious. Got it. TechCrunch calculated the TRIR based on the data, which includes the total number of incidents, the total number of hours worked by SpaceX employees each site. Okay. That is your quick story on SpaceX.
Okay.
We have another one about war.
I have a pun for you.
So, have the puns.
Yeah, they're trying to have some safety protocols there over at SpaceX, but it never really took off. It's a rocketed idea. Okay.
I hope it did. I hope that sound came through. It probably didn't. Well, I'm having fun.
I heard him.
Can't death now, so I have to get more. Just Euro.com going at it. What are they doing? What's their issue? Been killed since it's Roy Sullivan for Euro News. Rory, his brother Rory, not Roy. At least 12 since border clashes broke out between Thailand and Cambodia on Tuesday morning. That is today. The Thai authorities have said that both countries accused the other of shooting first. Serious escalation of long-running border dispute. The Thai army first reported a death toll of 9 civilians, stating 6 citizens had died in Sisaket province. Man, you people are bad at war, right?
Yeah.
Serious.
And what are they fighting over again? For anyone who wasn't here for our article about it, they're fighting over a land border that France gave them when they were a colony, you know?
Right. Yeah, we want them peach trees in our land. Like that. It's some stupid. Let's go. Let's talk about the citizens that died. The Thai army first reported 9 civilians, starting 6 citizens that died in Sisaket province, 2 in Surin province, and 1 in Ubon Ratchathani province. This seems like a little bit more widespread bombing.
Yeah, like what do they send a freaking salvo across the border? What the hell?
They're calibrating, I guess. I don't know. Cambodia, which has yet to release its own casualty figures, claimed that Thai jets dropped bombs on the road near the ancient Priya Behar temple.
Hey, if you blow it up, nobody can fight over anymore. That's a great idea.
That's right. Yeah. Well, no more temple. Well, they missed though. They hit a road. I guess roads are supposed to do something. Bombing roads and keep troops from moving. The fighting began on Thursday morning close to the ancient Tumen Tom temple. Beside the border between Thailand's Surin province and Cambodia's Odar Minche province. It comes after months of heightened tensions between the neighbors following the death of a Cambodian soldier on a border skirmish in May. One soldier gets to start a war. Isn't that interesting? The Thai army said 6 armed Cambodian soldiers opened fire near one of its military stations on Thursday, while Cambodia blamed Thailand for causing the latest clashes. In a statement published on Thursday, Cambodia's foreign ministry said it condemns the strongest possible terms the reckless and hostile act by Thailand, urging its neighbors to cease hostilities. Thailand foreign minister has issued a similar message in which it encouraged Cambodia to bring the flare-up to an end. The Royal Thai government calls upon Cambodia to take responsibility for the incidents that have occurred, cease attacks against civilian and military targets, and stop all actions that violate Thailand's sovereignty, it said. Both Cambodia and Thailand have downgraded diplomatic relations since Wednesday, with Cambodia recalling its diplomatic staff and expelling the Thai ambassadors on Thursday. Thailand also sealed all land border crossings with Cambodia following a landmine blast on Wednesday that injured 5 Thai soldiers, one who lost a leg. Hopefully they find his leg. Terrible joke, sorry.
They probably did
Thai
find it, but they couldn't give it back to him, sadly.
Sorry about the bad joke. The Thai authorities claim that Cambodian troops have recently laid mines in the previously safe areas, something Cambodia strongly rejects, saying that they are a legacy of old wars and unrest. Yeah, your old landmines, imagine that. Maybe you should have made a map and kept track of them and picked them up after the stupid old war that you were in, right? Hello? It's not our fault we forgot to remove those mines. The border dispute between the two countries.
Why mines are the worst thing ever invented by humans here?
And here's your reminder: the border dispute between the two countries started more than a century ago, following the end of France's occupation of Cambodia. So There you go.
Colonization, also a terrible thing.
The French soldiers. There you go. The French have solved their problems for all time, and now we are going home. All right, there's your poor French impersonation. I blame John Cleese. For my outrageous accent.
Oh my God. Okay, sorry. I'm looking at puns about French things, and all of it is like French language stuff.
Oh, there's a good escargot pun. I get that one.
Oh my God, some of these are so bad. A lot of these are about love. I don't know why they're about love. Let's see.
Oh, if you gotta look it up. Huh?
I guess the. I guess those mines that were left behind were quite formidable. There you go. A terrible joke. This is French.
That is terrible.
It's a French pun. How do you do a French pun as a person who doesn't speak?
Innocence is a fun thing to joke about, right? So it's really hard to. It puts you in a mindset that you don't want to talk about a pun. So that you can use that as a legitimate excuse.
The French people who went to draw borders between Thailand and Cambodia were really parasites.
How?
Is that one better?
There you go.
Parasite. Let's just move on and forget my bad puns. Roll the wheel.
Spin the wheel and hopefully
you gotta tell me a joke. Puns or not puns are not required, but you gotta tell me a joke.
Okay.
About the trade deal between India and UK. We've been talking about it for months and months and months at this point, and they finally actually signed the thing. The historic £6 billion free trade agreement between the UK and India, which is all I want for all of these colonies that have, had to climb their way back up into the world after being subjugated and probably treated like shit by their colonizers, right? India famously, right, was not treated very nicely by the British. And all because, right, all because people want to go to a place, steal your resources, treat you like crap, and then say, well, we took all your resources now, bye, good luck with not having a society anymore because we destroyed the fundamentals of your society. So all they needed to do is make a trade deal with these countries, but it's way easier to steal it, isn't it? Or it's not easier, it's cheaper to steal it than to have these trade. This is from David Lynch on The Independent. Yeah. Britain and India signed a free trade agreement today on 24th of July during a visit by Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi, sealing a deal to cut tariffs on goods from textiles to whiskey and cars and allow more market access for businesses. Hell yeah, whiskey and textiles. Sir Keir Starmer told his Indian counterpart that signing the trade deal was a historic day for two countries. At the Prime Minister's country residence in Chequers, Sir Keir said the deal marked a steep change in relationships. Mr. Modi said they were writing a new chapter in the UK and India's shared history. The deal is said to be worth £6 billion in investment for the British economy, and the two leaders have agreed to increase efforts to tackle illegal migration and organized crime. But in which country? Organized crime in the UK, organized crime in India? Maybe that's what they're saying. India will help Britain with their illegal migration, even though I don't believe that exists. And UK will help them with their organized crime.
Illegal migration exists. Illegal people don't exist. Okay.
I don't think migrating is illegal and can be illegal. That's what I'm trying to. I'm a globalist, right? I don't believe in borders. If I can walk somewhere, the end of the story. Okay, if I can sail somewhere.
But you're misapplying the word legal. Legal has a specific meaning. You have to have laws for something to be legal.
Yeah, I
Therefore,
know. I'm just saying I don't think there should be laws. I guess that's where I'm sitting. Yeah.
Yeah, we need laws because of stupid people. The same reason we need religions, because of stupid people. They can't figure out what to do unless God tells them. Like, God, all right. Well, since God.
Well, either way.
So yeah, right? Laws are for poor people and for honest people.
Sadly they are. The two countries concluded the talks on the trade pact in May after 3 years of stop-start negotiations. Reminder that Starmer's really only been in power for not even under a year still, I think. He got elected. What was it was it in last autumn? When they had maybe it's actually in the summer. I don't remember when the election was because I obviously didn't vote. I'm not British. But he's only been in power in one of those years of the 3 years of negotiations. So there was an entire change of politics. And they're the ones who get to claim the prize, right? You conservatives, you Tories worked 2 years to try to get a deal off with India, and we're the ones who got it down. Take that, you losers. Because that's what politics is nowadays, especially in a two-party system. It's just, I'm better than you, because I passed that thing you couldn't pass. With both sides hastening efforts to clinch a deal in the shadow of the tariff turmoil unleashed by U.S. President and convicted felon Trump. Sir Keir said, I'm really pleased and privileged to welcome you here today on what I consider to be a historic day for both of our countries, and the delivery of the commitment that we made to each other. Then there's a photo of them hugging each other awkwardly because it's really weird to see leaders of countries hugging each other. Yeah. They should just dab each other. That would be more relatable. Mr. Modi, you see that? The Biden dabbing that guy in the hospital? That was crazy.
I think we should just share a joint. That'll do it for me.
Yeah, exactly. To our continued economic prosperity, and then they get high on the couch and eat some chips, some Doritos. Mr. Modi, speaking via translator, described the UK and India as natural partners. They were trading with each other over the Silk Road for years and years, and sending ships over. It's only when they wanted more that they decided to invade India and colonize them. We've entered a new global era, and this is the one that requires us to step up, not to stand aside, by building deeper partnerships and alliances, Mr. Starmer said. Mr. Modi said the visit would go a long way in advancing the economic partnership between our nations. Business Secretary Jonathan Reynolds and his Indian counterpart, Piyush Goyal, then formally signed the trade agreement in the Great Hall of Chequers. I don't know if it's Chequers or it's like Chequers, because it's French. It's definitely French with that Q-U-E thing going on. It's definitely French. The UK-India trade deal is understood to be the largest of its kind for its economic impact on Britain. It will see tariffs on an array of British goods reduced from an average of 15% to a 3%. Reminder that they're looking at making a Euro-US trade deal that is 15%. So that's less. This deal is less between India and the UK than what could possibly be a Euro deal with the US. With the aim of boosting the 11 billion pound of imports into the South Asian nation. Whiskey tariffs will be slashed in half and will fall further over successive years, with other industries including soft drinks, cars, and cosmetics are also expected to see cheaper duties. So they're importing a lot of things from the UK to India with cheaper tariffs. The deal is expected to result in 2,200 jobs across the country and $6 billion investment by British and Indian businesses. It is the Britain's biggest trade deal since it's left the European Union in 2020, although its impact will be a fraction of the effect of leaving the orbit of its closest trading partner. Yeah. I mean, India is a big country with a lot of people, but it's all about their GDP and their spending power. And unfortunately, still in India, there's a lot of poor communities there who cannot spend anything. They're not going to be buying British cosmetics or whiskey, okay? They're going to be spending their £1 worth of spending power probably on food. And that's it. So unless they're importing, I don't know, really cheap British steaks or something, you know. Well, they can't eat cows. What am I saying? They can't eat cows, so they're not going to be importing cows, are they? They're importing their sheep. They can import their sheep into their wool. Well, they don't need wool, but they can import wool that can be turned into textiles and then export it out to somewhere else, perhaps. Now, that's a trade deal, right? Giving them supply, them turning that supply into something new and then selling it back to you. That's what the Dutch do with their tomatoes. They sell tomatoes to Italy and then they buy back the tomato sauce from Italy. But that's what's great about a trade deal.
It's value added.
Yeah.
Right?
For India.
Value added.
Exactly.
Right.
For India, it represents the biggest strategic partnership with an advanced economy and one which could provide a template for a long-mooted deal with the EU as well as talks with other regions. It will take effect after a ratification process, likely within a year. Yeah, that is a good point. If they make a good deal with India, they could say, hey, EU, want a good deal with India? We already got one. We could sell you a third party, right? We import it with our good trade, and we have a good trade deal with you. Less tariffs for you from India. The UK and India are also bolstering cooperation on tackling corruption, fraud, organized crime, and illegal migration by sharing criminal records and other intelligence. But the deal is not giving the UK as much access it would like to India's financial service industries. The agreement promises some benefits for the UK's financial services, with Chancellor Rachel Reeves understood to have pushed on behalf of the sector in discussions with her Indian counterpart. But more wide-ranging access was not agreed. And talks continue on bilateral investment treaty aimed at protecting British investments in India and vice versa. The two nations also continue to discuss UK plans for a tax on high carbon industries such as India believes could hit its imports unfairly. Yeah, this is the problem with the developing world. They don't get to destroy the planet like everyone else did during the industrial age. Because we didn't know any better. We didn't know that we were destroying the environment when our kids were getting black lung, you know, but now we know children are getting black lung, so India's not allowed to do it because they're giving their kids black lung. Whatever. Unfair advantage. First of the pot.
We don't get to burn tires for heat. Damn it.
Oh, darn it. So useful.
Damn it.
Negotiations on the deal began when Boris Johnson was Prime Minister in 2022 and were concluded in May this year. Shadow Business Secretary Andrew Griffith said it had only been made possible because Brexit delivered by the Conservatives. Literally, we have no other trade deals with anyone. I guess we have to make one. The Confederation of British Industry, CBI, has said that the signing sends a powerful signal that UK is open for business and remains resolute in its commitment to free and fair trade. Chief Executive Rain Newton-Smith added, a trade agreement with India, one of the world's fastest growing economies, they're going to be on our list, aren't they, is a springboard for long-term partnership and prosperity. UK firms can take advantage of this new platform to scale, diversify, and compete on the global stage. That's right, India has totally different trade that they're doing and goods that they can offer, and you can buy some of them then export them to other countries and say, look, we have authentic Indian textiles you can only buy here in the UK because we have a trade deal with India. That's my story.
Okay.
Got a joke
I don't have
about
a whole lot of India jokes.
trading?
I guess what? Not really. Got a Hindu joke though.
Okay.
I watched the Hindu version of How I Met Your Mother. There's just one episode about the wedding. They have arranged marriages.
Yeah, because they have, yeah. My parents said we're getting married. Okay, we're happy marriage.
Right. Oh, no. You've been betrothed to this child since she was born. That kind of shit.
Oh, right, of course.
Oh, I didn't really met her. Yeah.
We just met today and we're getting married.
We're promised. Yeah, we made a deal. We had a contract, so to speak. Yeah,
very common in China
that's
too, actually.
All right.
Let's
I was looking at the 8
segue.
stages of democracy. The 8 stages of democracy, and we're in the 8th stage, which is where plunder happens. And we're going to talk
All right,
about
I need
our
to
list.
associate your story with, or I guess your list with something. I'm sure there'll be something in there.
Yeah.
Thursday's
we're going back to
13
India
list.
for some of this because, yeah, it's a good thing we're talking about India because we don't really have to leave because 3 of these cities are in India. The fastest growing cities in the world as of 2020. This is the data compiled from 2006 to 2020 by a website called citymayors.com. And they just compile a bunch of lists ranking cities, and here's one of them. So our number 1 city, we're going to go in the descending order. Beihai, China. And if you've ever heard of Beihai, China, I haven't either.
Didn't we talk about it?
But it's growing. I don't know.
It sounds like we talked about it in one of your Chinese stories. Beihai. I remember you saying Beihai.
No idea. But I'm going to talk about it now because it's growing at 10%. 10%.
That's
now,
pretty
I don't
high.
think China's population isn't growing at 10%. I'd imagine they just built a bunch of stuff there, a bunch of infrastructure, and moved a lot of people there because the communist governments do. You are not living here anymore. You're living there. Yep. Sorry.
Congratulations, you've been selected for our Beihai initiative. Got a new house, a new farm. Good luck.
That's right. Now get to work. You and your kids all got jobs. Congratulations. So Beihai is a large port in the Gongji region of China's southwest coast. In the city center, Baibuan Square has a fountain sculpture evoking the local pearl industry. Nearby, old streets, 19th century buildings incorporate Western elements. In the city's southern waterfront, the Silver Beach Resort area, it's got a resort, is home to a park with giant Beihai music fountain. I love their fountains in Beihai, or Beihai is how it's pronounced. Anyway, that is your fastest growing city in the world according to this data. The number 2 city, I'm going to need a pronunciation guide on a lot of these, is Ghaziabad, and that is in India. And that has grown in those 15 years of data they collected. That grew at 5.2%. Ghaziabad, I need my glasses on here to read the data because it's on my notepad. All right. Ghaziabad is the city of the Indian state of Uttar Pradesh and is part of the Delhi NCR. It is the administrative headquarters of the Ghaziabad district and is the largest city in western Uttar Pradesh with a population of 1.729 million people. So it's over 1 million. I wonder how many cities India has over it. But that's one of your fastest growing cities, second in the world according to this data. Our next city that's growing really fast, or was at least, is pronounced Sana'a, Yemen. Let me make sure I got that right. Let's
Sanaa.
what's that?
Sanaa.
Suna, Yemen.
Suna.
Yemen is
Really?
Suna. It's
Yemen.
spelled
Wow.
S-A. It's spelled S-A-N-A''A. So it's got 3 A's in it. And it's growing at 5% in the data that's been compiled over these 15 years for this survey. and is officially the Sana'a municipality is the de jure capital and largest city of Yemen. The city is the capital of Sana'a governorate, but is not part of the governorate as it forms a separate administrative unit. Either way, it's still growing really fast. Probably a lot of people moving there because of the jobs, as you say. There's lots of reasons people move, usually economic, almost always economic. Kabul. You know, Kabul, that's in Afghanistan. Oh, no, we skipped the city. Surat, another city in India. Yeah. Surat is a large city besides the Tapi River in the West Indian state of Gujarat. Once known for silk weaving, Surat remains a commercial center for textiles and new textile market areas lined with fabric shops. Overlooking the river, Surat Castle was built in 1500s to defend the city against Portuguese colonists. Nearby, the Dutch, Armenian, and English cemeteries contain elaborate colonial-era tombs. It doesn't say the population. I wish they would do that. Let's see. Population is 6.9 million. Wow, so it's already a huge city. Next in our list is we're going to Afghanistan, Kabul. I already brought it up, didn't I? We've heard of Kabul. If you know anything about the Afghanistan war, we got mired in for most of this early part of this century.
Most of my life.
Kabul is large. Yeah, it's the capital city and largest city of Afghanistan, but I knew that already. Located in the eastern half of the country, is also a municipality forming part of Kabul province. The city is divided for administration into 22 municipal districts. Kabul's population was estimated in 2023 at 4.95 million. So 5 million people, and it was growing at a 4.74% rate. The next city is in Africa. We're going to Africa for the first time. Bamako in Mali. And we're going to look up the facts about that one as soon as we close these other ones. Bamako is the capital and largest city of Mali, West Africa, with a 2022 population of 4,227,569. It is located on the Niger River near the rapids that divide the upper and middle Niger valleys in the southwestern part of the country. Bamako is the nation's administrative center. Sounds like a cool place to live, actually. Hey, check it out.
I love a river.
So Bamako, Mali, West Africa, is actually where my African blood comes from, according to the DNA tests. So, hey, the homeland is on the list at number 6. Number 7, hey, I can claim it as a homeland. I got DNA proof. Lagos, Nigeria, another place I've heard of. Of course, I first heard of Lagos, Nigeria, because of Paul McCartney recorded one of his albums there. Band on the Run was recorded there, the album.
Band on the Run.
That's right. And, some of your greats, 1985, the flip side was recorded there too. So in Lagos, Nigeria, Lagos, Nigeria's largest city, sprawls inland from the Gulf of Guinea across Lagos Lagoon. Victoria Island, a financial center of the metropolis, is known for its beach resorts, boutiques, and nightlife. To the north, Lagos Island is home to the National Museum of Lagos, displaying cultural artifacts and craftworks. Nearby is Freedom Park, once a colonial-era prison, and now a major venue for concerts and public events. Sounds like an awesome place.
Ooh.
And its population is growing at 4.44%. Its current population, let's look at it. Largest city in Nigeria, 21 million people. So why I'm looking up the populations, when you look at a percentages, so is that really a big percentage? There's a lot about, but 4.4% of 21 million people is a way bigger total quantity than a lot of these places that are just, growing by percentages. So Lagos really growing, at least until 2020. Faridabad, India is our number 8 on the list. Faridabad, I believe I got that right. Faridabad, maybe? And that is another India city. That's number 8 on our list. Faridabad is the most populous city in the Indian state of Haryana and is part of the Delhi National Capital Region. It is one of the major satellite cities around Delhi and is located 284 kilometers south of the state capital, Chandigarh. The river Yamuna forms the eastern district boundary with Uttar Pradesh, and that's it for that city. Population. I don't know why it's so hard about putting the population down for these cities. Perhaps I'll look it up later because it didn't jump out at me. Our number 9, as we move along the list, is Dar es Salaam in Tanzania. We're still in Africa. We're staying in Africa for a lot of these. They're growing at a 4.39% rate. Africa. Dar es Salaam, a major city and commercial port on Tanzania's Indian coast. It's the Indian Ocean. Grew from a fishing village. The open-air village museum has recreated traditional homes of local and other Tanzanian tribes and hosts tribal dancing, part of the National Museum, which offers Tanzanian history exhibits, including fossils of human ancestors found by anthropologist Louis Leakey. Louis Leakey, very famous for
Louis Leakey.
Really old. Dr. Leakey, yeah, I've known that name for a long time. I think he's the guy that found Lucy, right? You know who Lucy is.
Lucy? No, I don't know.
Look that up. Who?
I don't know what that is.
Lucy was the oldest found skeleton at the time.
Oh, okay.
They named her Lucy after Lucy in the Sky with Diamonds. No, he did not. Lucy was discovered by a team led by John Hansen and Tom Gray. It actually happened in Ethiopia. And that was in 1974. That wasn't Louis Leakey. Either way, we're going back to this story. Just to satisfy my curiosity about it. The story goes on. The next city we're going to talk about is Chattagram. Chattagram? Yeah, pretty sure it's out. Chattagong in Bangladesh, sorry. Chattagong in Bangladesh, also pronounced Chattagram, is a large city in the southern part of Bangladesh. The Ethnological Museum has exhibits about the many different ethnic tribes across the country. Zia Memorial Museum inside the formal old circuit house displays items belonging to former President Zaire Rahman, who was assassinated on the site in 1981. The landmark Chandapura Mosque has many onion-shaped domes and brightly painted minarets. And the population is 5.5 million in Faridabad, India. I'm sorry, we are not in Faridabad anymore. We are in Chittagong, Bangladesh, sorry. And their population has gone up 4.29. Our number 11 is Toluca, Mexico. We finally get to the Western Hemisphere in this one. Toluca, Mexico. Toluca is the capital of Mexico's central state of Mexico. It sits at a high altitude. It is known for its colonial architecture. This seems like a lot of places like this, right? The imposing Cathedral de San Jose and the neoclassical Palacio Municipal overtook the main square, Plaza de los Marites, housed in former marketplace. The Cosmovitral Botanical Garden has plants from around the world and dozens of stained glass murals. The population of this is... Shoot. They're not going to tell me. Way to go. I guess we just got to click on Wikipedia and find all this crap. But hey, telling me the population. That, to me, population should be the number one thing you put on information about a city. And Google is failing me. But we'll just go on ahead to number 12, which is in the Congo. We're going back to Africa. Lumumbashi, Congo, and a city in the Democratic Republic of Congo. Lubumbashi, formerly known as Elizabethville, is the second largest city in the Democratic Republic of Congo, located in the country's southernmost part along with the border of Zambia. Their population has gone up by 4.1%, or that specific period. Again, they're not sharing the population with me in this little blurb I'm reading, which is really beginning to irritate me. Why do you want to talk about a city you don't tell me population? I just don't get it.
Yeah, it's like, they grew. Yeah, because the first one they said 10%, right? And then they just stopped telling you after that.
Yeah, well, I got two different sources. I was just clicking on Google, and you figure Google will just tell you everything. Like on one blurb, will tell you the population, which they do about half of the time, which is unfortunate. But Lumumbashi growing at 4.1%, and number 13 in our list is Kampala, Uganda, which I've heard of. Population, it keeps telling me, I just forget it, man. I'm not even going to try to look at population because these little blurbs are just awful. I mean, they tell you about the city, but hey, how about some population information? Kampala is Uganda's national and commercial capital bordering Lake Victoria, which is the source of the Nile, Africa's largest lake. Hills covered with red tile villas and trees surrounded an urban center of contemporary skyscrapers. In the downtown area, the Ugandan Museum explores the country's tribal heritage through an extensive collection of artifacts. On nearby Mango Hill is Lubria Palace, the former seat of the Buganda Kingdom. And that is the 13th fastest growing city in the world at 4.03%. And it's actually a nice cutoff because number 14 falls below 4%. So
yeah,
there's your world history.
We started with the highest and went to the lowest. Okay.
Yeah, the fastest growing.
Yeah.
And this list is so long. It's 100. So I got a list of the top 100, and if I want to go check the rest, it's on the next page. There's one U.S. city at 78, Atlanta. And there should be another one, U.S. city. I think it's Austin, Texas, which is the liberal center of Texas. So if you're telling me, look, Texas is growing. Nah, people are just moving to the liberal city. Las Vegas is number 30. So there you go. Las Vegas on the list.
So there's some U.S. The two U.S. cities within the first, 30 is Las Vegas and Austin.
Yeah. I think Austin's on there. I'm not even sure. Nope, it's not even on there. Las Vegas is the only one in the top 30.
Yeah, okay.
Yep, Las Vegas. And Las Vegas definitely is not growing anymore because of the economy that happened in 2020. Right?
Yeah.
We forget that the pandemic happened after this. So I wouldn't think Las Vegas, first of all, the tariffs have caused tourism to nosedive Las Vegas, so that ain't gonna stay very. Canadians make up the number one visitors to Las Vegas. That is a fact. And Canadians are staying away for obvious reasons. So Las Vegas is gonna suffer. But then again, sadly, Nevada, you voted for Trump. Good luck. Good luck to you. Good luck to you, morons. Good luck to you.
Well, there's also, if we want to associate to that, right? That reminds me, maybe we should do a list on where all the tourists went this summer. Later in the year, like in December, we can do where did all the tourists go? Because I've been seeing a lot of, social media. So it's not factual just because you see 5 social media posts about it, but people are like, I was on a plane and there's nobody on this plane. And I'm going to New York City from Spain or whatever. That's what they're saying. They're saying there's no European tourists going on international flights to famous cities. All the tourists are staying away. But I'm sure we can do something. We can look at that later in the year and see if that's true.
If somebody tells you they went on a nearly empty plane across the Atlantic Ocean, they're lying. Because airlines will never let that flight take off.
Yeah, 100%.
Cancel it.
Yeah.
We didn't sell enough seats. They'll say there was
maybe it's something like only Americans are on this plane. There's no foreigners on the plane.
No, it's all about money. They're not going to fuel up that plane and fly it across the Atlantic for 10 people. They're just not going to do it. They'll cancel the flight.
Yeah. For sure.
In the United States, they'll do it too, except for Southwest is the only one that'll ever take off with a nearly empty plane. Right? But they're flying cattle cars. They're going to pick up passengers along the way. They're like your bus stops, right?
Yeah.
most airlines in the world, everybody gets off the plane when you land. Not Southwest. Half of the people stay on because it's just a bus stop. Alrighty. So next story, I guess. We dragged that to another tangent.
Yes, right. You had my story. Let's roll the segue. I guess it's my association.
Wait, did you
also,
huh? You did it. Yeah, okay.
I'm rolling the segue. Yeah. I'm rolling it now. Also, good morning, Amlin. Thank you for coming in and joining, and I hope you're still doing well. Her mother's visiting her this week, so they're having some mother and daughter time, and we're having some father and daughter time. Oh, so fitting.
Sweet.
Your segue is accurate metaphor simile for our culture news. We're going to talk about South Park. I'm sure everyone on social media is already talking about this, but I want to talk about it too, because at the same week that Colbert show has been formally canceled until May 2026, South Park was paid by Paramount $1.5 billion for their 27th season, and their first few seconds or few minutes of their first episode of the new season is a huge Trump slam or whatever. This is from Jenna Amatuli on The Guardian. South Park has kicked off its 27th season with a blistering episode taking aim at convicted felon Trump and its newly minted parent company Paramount, just one day after signing a $1.5 billion deal with the network. The premiere episode, Sermon on the Mount, sees Trump in bed with series regular Satan, covers topics including Trump's lawsuit against Paramount, the cancellation of The Late Show with Stephen Colbert, wokeness, Trump's attacks on Canada, and more. It also features his very small penis. It literally just whips it out and it's like a pinky. Anyways, unlike other characters, Trump is depicted... So this is the interesting thing. I'm sure you've already seen it, but if you haven't seen it, interesting thing about this cartoonized character of Trump is that he's actually his actual photo. It's his actual face of his photo, kind of like with the mouth cut out, right? So it still opens. But it's his face. It's not like a cartoon's version of his face. It's his actual face from photos. So that was an interesting artistic decision. But his actual photo of you on an animated body. This is also an extended scene featuring a hyper-realistic deepfake video of Trump completely naked walking in the desert. There are repeated suggestions that Trump's genitalia are small. The episode centers on the presence of Jesus in South Park's schools, a story covered by a parody of 60 Minutes, in a clear satire of Paramount's recent embroilment with Trump over the flagship CBS News show. The two hosts refer nervously to the president, who is a great man, and who is probably watching. Fascism, baby! When South Park's parents protest to Trump that they don't want Jesus in schools, and Trump threatens to sue them for $5 billion, Jesus begs them to settle with the president. I don't want to come back and be in school, but I had to because it's part of a lawsuit and the agreement with Paramount, Jesus says through gritted teeth. I'm forced to be here. You guys saw what happened on CBS. Well, guess who owns CBS? Paramount. Really want to end up like Colbert? You guys gotta stop being stupid. He also has the power to sue and take bribes. And can he do anything to anyone? It's the fucking president, dude. South Park is over. This is, of course, they're talking about South Park. The South Park, the town is over, because that's the name of the show, is about a town in Colorado, right? Colorado.
Yeah, about a fictional town in Colorado.
The townspeople eventually agree to pay Trump his much smaller $3.5 million, but also must create pro-Trump messaging, leading to the aforementioned video of Trump wandering in a desert, stripped naked. On the 23rd of July, which was yesterday, the company's South Park Digital Studios in Park County, which are run by South Park's creators Matt Stone and Trey Parker, announced a licensing deal with Paramount Global, the $1.5 billion or 1.1 billion pounds, because this is on The Guardian. Agreement confirms 50 new episodes on Comedy Central over 5 years. They exclusively stream on Paramount Plus worldwide, which means you won't be able to watch it on TV or on any other place. You have to get Paramount Plus the subscription to watch it. The entire South Park library will also be made available on Paramount Plus in the United States. Dylan Byers, a senior correspondent at the media organization Puck, wrote on social media after the episode's release, Hard to think of anything more defiant in media and entertainment recently than Trey Parker and Matt Stone going scorched earth on Paramount and South Park season premiere on the heels of netting a $1.5 billion deal with the very same company. This deal also comes after recent contentious disputes involving Paramount. Skydance, which is controlled by the son of Trump ally Larry Ellison, is vying to take over Paramount Global as well as Park Country. Earlier this month, Parker and Stone criticized the merger for postponing the season 27 premiere, writing, "This merger is a shit show and is fucking up South Park. We are at the studio working on new episodes and we hope the fans get to see them, somehow." The merger, however, requires the approval from the Trump-controlled Federal Communications Commission. What are we saying here? Basically, all of this is controlled by Trump people. And that's why, right? It's unconfirmed, but that's why there is the rumor that the reason Colbert is canceled is because he said some bad stuff. And as fascists like to do, they like to say, "You're not allowed to say that," even though freedom of speech is only for me, not for you. And you gotta shut up. And Paramount controversially settled a lawsuit with Trump for $16 million over allegations that CBS News, which is owned by Paramount, committed the election interference in its editing of a 60 Minutes interview with Kamala Harris. Some critics allege another example of capitalization by media companies, hoping to curry favor with the convict in chief. Then, 3 days after Colbert, a high-profile critic of Trump, branded the deal a big fat bribe on his late-night show, CBS show, Paramount and CBS announced it had canceled the show. Very convenient things happening at the same time. The South Park premiere alludes constantly to the events, with Cartman learning that his favorite radio show on NPR, where liberals bitch and whine about stuff, has been canceled by Trump. The government can't cancel the show. I mean, what show are we going to cancel next? He says. I'm sorry for my terrible Cartman. My terrible Cartman. I think it's even a woman who voices all the boys in the show. And it's a very particular voice that I cannot do. But
they do hire people to do voices. Remember, Chef was Isaac Hayes, right?
Yeah, professional voice actors cannot compare to me. I'm trash compared to them. Trump's character is also asked directly by Satan about the Epstein list, referring to unreleased files held by the U.S. government relating to the convicted pedophile Jeffrey Epstein. Sorry, I said Epstein. It's Epstein, right? Who was friends with Trump for 15 years. A political firestorm has erupted since the administration's recent decision not to release any more documents. Satan asked Trump directly if Satan is on the list. It's weird that whenever it comes up, you just tell everyone to relax, Satan says. The Guardian has contacted Stone Park and the White House for comment, but as of now, no comment yet. I'm sure we'll find some comments on social media because, as you'll say, right, everyone reports stuff from Twitter. On Twitter, they said this.
Oh my God, somebody somewhere was offended by that joke. We have to report it.
Also, hello, Tiki. Good morning and welcome to our slowly ending this show. And now we're going to do some...
hopefully.
We're going to have an ad break, though, in the middle of this. So give us your segue.
No. My metaphor? Oh, shoot. An accurate metaphor for people publishing jokes on TV that offend. Oh, boy. I don't know. It's like you go to a comedy show and you go, "Oh, my God, that one joke offends me. I got to leave. Let me go to another comedy show. That doesn't offend me." And then you go to that one. "Oh, that one offends me. I may go to the next one that offends me." Just admit you don't like comedy, okay? Just admit it.
Well,
anyway, that's my long-drawn metaphor.
The thing about this specific instance, right, is there's somebody who can't take any criticism whatsoever. So
exactly. And Paramount Plus and CBS's parent company is called Viacom. Viacom is trying to get a merger approved by who? The FCC, or not the FCC. Well, it's the FCC and the SEC.
Federal Communications Commission. That's what we talked about in the article. The Trump-controlled Federal Communications Commission has to say, you're allowed to do that.
Which the FCC is supposed to be hands off to the president, by the way. Either way, he's a fascist. He don't give a shit about that. Laws, for one thing. But I guess what the hell was I talking about? I was talking about,
the merger has to be
Viacom
approved.
wants their deal approved. They want that rubber stamp on their stupid merger, and mergers again are just drive up costs and make people money that thought of the merger in the first place. They get big bonuses.
That's all it's for. Yeah.
And so it's all about greed. And if you don't think Colbert is funny and you think South Park is funny, I just don't know where the hell you're from. They're both making fun of the same.
I've seen
people.
on social media that this new season is basically bringing back South Park being funny, because I guess for a lot of people who were 14, it was funny then, but now as adults, they're like, it's not very funny anymore. So, I've always felt that about South Park and Family Guy, and I've always thought their comedy was very childish and, easy comedy, right?
Really
we're going to make fun of the person who's already ridiculous to begin with, Yeah.
South Park's important for one thing, is they push the limits. You want to know what the limits are? You don't know until you push them.
Yeah,
and
that's true.
That's basically what it goes for. And I guess I did my metaphor already, so did we get to the thing? To the ad?
Let me roll the wheel. I'm letting you talk a little longer so that the ad and break can finish. Well, basically. It's a 3-minute ad break. So, yeah.
Okay. You're recording it, so, all right.
Next segue is hypothetical, and we can go into this day in history.
And I sent you a video.
Oh no!
I sent you a video. I
pressed all the wrong buttons.
Okay, what's going on?
You're on screen, hopefully for now.
Okay. And did you get the video?
Did I get the video? I didn't even know you sent one. Did you just send one now?
I just told you 3 times, but you didn't hear me apparently.
Okay. I guess okay. I have the video.
All right, then. National Day calendar on this day in history. We're going to talk about this day in history. Are we out of our ad break yet? Or does that even matter?
Yeah, we're out of it. You can go.
Okay, 1567, Mary Queen of Scots was formally deposed after her rebellious Scottish nobles deserted her army at Carberry Hill and forced her to abdicate in favor of her 1-year-old son, James. Okay, that's really cool. But then she was arrested by Queen Elizabeth and beheaded.
Kept in the Tower of London and then beheaded for a while too. She couldn't decide if she wanted to kill her or not.
Conspiracy. They decided she was part of a conspiracy to kill Lord Darnley. Who was another
that
Stuart,
guy was.
by the way?
Nobody remembers him. Everyone remembers Queen Mary. Oh, sorry, Mary Queen of Scots.
Yeah, Mary Queen of Scots. Queen Mary's quite remembered too for.
Everyone remembers her too.
Bloody Mary.
Yeah.
Yeah, she was before Queen Elizabeth. She was the another heir of Henry VIII, right? 1847, Brigham Young and members of the Church of Latter-day Saints arrived in Salt Lake City, Utah, and said, "Hey, we got some water. Let's go get." Oh shit, it's all salty. Anyway,
oh no, we can't drink this.
Anyway, I gotta stop it. On other stories, 1897, Amelia Earhart was born. One of the world's most celebrated aviators and the first woman to fly across the Atlantic Ocean, was born in Atchison, Kansas. So it's a very famous birthday for a female first day. In 1911, led by local resident Hiram Bingham, reached Machu Picchu, the remote part of the Peruvian Andes. And there's a city up there. They said, "Holy shit, there's a city up here." In 1915, I know, right? We didn't invent cities. I can't believe it. Anyway, 1915, in one of the worst maritime disasters in American history, the passenger liner SS Eastland capsized in the Chicago River. You don't think of Chicago as being a maritime city, but yeah, there's Lake Michigan right there. Killing more than 840 people in Chicago. Why does it say in Chicago? Where else would it be? Okay.
They killed everyone in New York.
Yeah, it killed 840 people in Spain somehow. That's what happened. No, it was, people on a ferry, I believe. I don't know, was it a ferry? Or you're crossing Lake Michigan, which the only reason a boat would be full of people in Lake Michigan. Oh, it's Chicago River. Got it. Chicago River, which flows into Lake Michigan. 1923, the Treaty of Lausanne, the final treaty concluding World War I, was signed at Lausanne, Switzerland. So World War I officially ended this day. 1923, 1944, Soviet forces liberated the Majdanek concentration and extermination camp on the outskirts of the city of Lublin, Poland. Way to go,
Lublin,
fascist
Poland.
Nazis exterminating people. Yeah. Lublin, Poland, maybe, perhaps. But the Soviet forces freed a bunch of people who were being tortured to death and killed and murdered. 1959, Soviet Premier Nikita Khrushchev and U.S. Vice President Richard M. Nixon, that's right, he was vice president for 8 years, engaged in a kitchen debate in an American exhibition in Moscow. It was called the kitchen debate because I think that's the only place they could fit all the TV cameras. That's a legitimate reason while they had it there, right? Television cameras
used to be huge,
in 1959 were just, it used to be huge, gigantic contractions that needed two people and wheels and shit to move around. 1969, American actress and singer Jennifer Lopez, who was one of the highest paid. Well, she was born. Happy birthday, Jennifer Lopez. You don't know what Jennifer Lopez is. I don't know what to say, but she's the highest paid Latina actress in history of Hollywood, and later found crossover success in the music industry with a series of pop albums and a number of. I was just going to bring this up. She's been in one of those. She's one of those power couples. What? I'm what? Speak up! I can't hear you.
You're fine. You're fine. She's saying there's internet issues, but you're fine. Just continue.
Yeah, I can't do nothing about it. Okay. All right. Anyway. Jennifer Lopez is one of those power couples that they used to give two names, like when she was with Ben. What's his name? I even forgot his last name.
Ben Affleck.
Ben Affleck. They were called Benifer, which is why the new name for the power couple in the world is called Trumpstein. Yeah, there's your power couple, Trumpstein. The Trumpstein files. Don't call them the Epstein files. We now call them the Trumpstein files because Trump's in them all over the place. It's a certified fact reported by the Wall Street Journal yesterday that the FBI told Trump in May that, you're all over the files. And that's why they've been shut down. And Congress went on vacation.
But we knew that before when they were originally out, too.
Oh yeah, we know that.
I don't know why I don't know why he's getting credit for saying something we already knew.
It's the idiots.
I just don't want to give Musk any credit for anything because he's just a tool, basically.
Musk can still be right about stuff. It's totally so. Just as Trump can be right about stuff.
So can a monkey.
Evil. Right, exactly. A broken clock is right twice a day. Remember that saying? All right. Anyway. Trumpstein is the new power couple. 1974, the U.S. Supreme Court ruled that President Richard M. Nixon had to provide transcripts of Watergate tapes to Special Prosecutor Leon Jaworski. And you know what? Richard M. Nixon was only a ticking time bomb. He resigned in August. So this is July 24th. He resigned just a few weeks later, 1974. 1998, the World War II drama Saving Private Ryan was released. It became a critical commercial success, earning 5 Academy Awards, including Best Director for Steven Spielberg. It's when Steven Spielberg started winning awards. He used to get nominated and never win, and then he started winning all of a sudden. 2005, I think Schindler's List was his first one, right? 2005, American cyclist Lance Armstrong became the first rider to win the Tour de France 7 times. Of course, he cheated. Tour de France currently going on. He was later stripped of all of his titles after an investigation revealed that he was the key figure in a wide-ranging doping conspiracy. But really hilarious at the time. Lance Armstrong won 7 Tour de France's, and everybody thought he was untouchable. Well, he overcame cancer. And everybody's like, yeah, but he's still a cheater. And 80 or 90% of all cyclists had already been caught cheating, caught blood doping, pumping extra blood into your system, steroids, whatever. And Lance Armstrong, the guy that was just totally dominating the sport, was claiming he never doped. I never blood doped. I never cheated.
Oh, never do that if you're doing it,
And the people defending him were hilarious. The people defending him are hilarious. Well, he's never tested positive on a test. You ever heard of faking a test? You ever heard of using somebody else's blood? You ever heard of any of that? I'm just saying, God, you people are morons. I swear to God. Especially when they're defending somebody that wouldn't cross the street to piss on them if they were on fire, right? Like Trump. They're just, yeah. 2013 American sex researcher and therapist Virginia E. Johnson died at the age of 88. With her husband, William H. Masters, formed Masters and Johnson, pioneering research team noted for studies in human sexuality. If you want to watch a movie that's really freaky, watch theirs. Yeah, what's their life story?
No one was writing it down and, making science about it, right? They were just rumors.
Just so you know, Masters and Johnson were a freaky, freaky couple. They were not monogamous. In 2020, American TV personality Regis Philbin, who is best known for hosting the talk show Live with Regis and Kelly, died at the age of 88. So rest in peace, Regis. Very funny guy. I think he just got famous way too late in life, I think that's what happened. 2023, Elon Musk rebranded his social media site Twitter as X because he's a stupid idiot. I don't know what his point was with that, but whatever. I never go on there and I don't care. So Twitter, where lazy reporters get all their stories. Yay, lazy reporting. I'm reporting something I saw on Twitter today. Like, any dope that wants to see it can just go see it. It's not news. Anyway, featured event is 1917. Mata Hari, famous Dutch-born dancer and courtesan Mata Hari, whose name became synonym for seductive female spy, went on trial this day in 1917, accused of spying for Germany, and was subsequently found guilty and shot by a firing squad. Boy, they really took that personal, didn't they? Our featured biography is Julie Crone. Who's Julie Crone? She's an American jockey. What's a jockey? A jockey's a small person that rides a horse that doesn't put a lot of weight on it, but can really coax that horse to beat the other horses. She was born on July 24th, 1963, so it's her 62nd birthday. She is famous for being the first woman to win the Triple Crown race in horse racing. So happy birthday to Julie Crone again. Her birthday's the same birthday as Amelia Earhart. That's what I was talking about earlier. That's amazing. 1802, Alexander Dumas, not dumbass, as they say that one movie. French author. It's spelled dumbass, but it's pronounced Dumas. Was born in 1802 on this day. Amelia Earhart, we already got that, 1897. Karl Malone, perhaps the best power forward in history today, up until Giannis showed up, because Giannis is definitely the best of all time. I don't think there's anybody could even demand that that's not true. Don't say LeBron. LeBron's a shooting guard. He's not a power forward. Karl Malone's birthday. He's turning 62. Karl Malone was born the same day as Julie Crone. The same exact day. That's amazing, too. Barry Bonds, American baseball player and Hall of Famer. Whether he's in a Hall of Fame or not. Again, we're talking about steroid use. Barry Bonds is out of the Hall of Fame, is not allowed in the Hall of Fame, even though not one time has he tested positive for steroids, although his head grew to the size of a giant beach ball. So you knew. I mean,
unconfirmed.
There was an epidemic. There's an epidemic of people using steroids in the 90s and the early 2000s in baseball, and all of those people are being excluded from the Hall of Fame for that reason alone. Barry Bonds holds major records in him. Oh, you use steroids. Like, nobody ever cheated in baseball before. Either way, the same people that defended Lance Armstrong attacked Barry Bonds. Could it be about race?
No.
Couldn't be about race. And of course, it's Jennifer Lopez's birthday. What other days is it today? It's National Cousins Day, National Amelia Earhart Day for obvious reasons, National Refreshment Day. I love me a refreshment. Who doesn't? It's National Thermal Engineer Day. So if your thermal engineer looks a little thirsty, you might pour him a refreshment. And it's National Drive-Through Day, which is nearly every day in America because nobody wants to get out of their air-conditioned car in July. So, those are your days. Cousins, Amelia Earhart, drive-throughs, refreshments, and a thermal engineer. What's a thermal engineer? A thermal engineer is a person that tells you how hot it is, I imagine. Oh, he's pointing it at a car engine. Ah, I see. He's got this like a spectrometer type thing, and he's pointing at a car engine. It's probably infrared detector, and it detects heat, and it shows you the hottest part of your engine to where you can find a leak in your manifold. There you go. That's what a thermal engineer does, at least on cars. So those are your days, your mispronunciation, your list, your everything for, and your technical glitches as we're chugging along here on July 24th, 2025. Tomorrow's 25/25. On before refreshments. Sorry.
Loading. All right, my segue is: do you think there would be female pilots during like World War I and World War II if it wasn't for Amelia Earhart? Isn't that a little hypothetical question for you guys out there? Discuss in the comments below. I think she's definitely a huge inspiration.
Women would make better pilots for one specific reason. They're smaller than men, and cockpits typically are very small. You can't be 6'9" and be a pilot, at least a test pilot. No, it just can't.
They have to build a whole new plane, and they're not going to do that just for you.
So yeah, you got to be smallish.
But if she didn't die, right, would that have changed anything, or would have she still been an inspiration? I think she probably would have still been an inspiration, even if she lived.
We still know who she is. Yeah. She was famous before she disappeared. She wasn't famous for disappearing.
Yeah.
She famous.
But you could argue that she's only continued being a reference because she disappeared, and people are like, "Where is she?" Like for years, right? Where did she go? Yeah, and it's like we actually know where she went, but keeping it a mystery made people talk about it more than if you just said, she's in over there.
Amelia Earhart.
Her plane crashed on an island.
Disappeared.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll do a famous list of famous people disappeared because there's a bunch of them. Like Judge Crater is one. Jimmy Hoffa never was found. Hey, there's your stories. That's everything. So I guess
there's no International Dates Day, unfortunately. So I have nothing to say there. This has been Allison here from the Netherlands, Roger from the East Coast of the U.S. as we finish off, as usual, very long Thursdays 13. We will see you tomorrow for the Friday's news dump, because we will give you all the news you need to hear about the important shit, not the stuff everyone's talking about, but the important shit you need to know about before the weekend, so you don't have to worry about anything, and you can come back on Monday and we'll tell you some more. So make sure you are following or subscribe, turn on those notifications so that you get notified when we go live or post a video. And here is our mic drop moment.
Ahead of Kentucky Derby 151, we're taking a look
in my
at
headphones for this.
The trailblazing women in horse racing history.
Ooh, this is a couple of months ago.
First in her career as a jockey.
Yeah, is it?
The first woman to win a Triple Crown
Giving me
race,
some old news?
To win a Breeders' Cup race, and
no, it's just reporting on who she is.
Hall of Fame,
and maybe could have skipped the introduction. But
20 years into her retirement from the sport, and a look back at her legacy.
Julie Crone has been around.
Okay, get to the story already.
She can remember. She grew up on a farm.
Probably should have started it at that.
And got her start doing horse shows at local tracks and county fairs.
I would do pony races after the horse shows because I went to horse shows every weekend, and I was always had horses. That's all I ever remember doing.
As a teenager, she
even the male jockeys have voices like that.
Funny. Walking racehorses before leaving a jockey apprenticeship. Breaking into the male-dominated sport wasn't easy. In the 1980s, some trainers were still against the idea.
You know who'd make good jockeys? Women as well.
And they made it known.
I don't know how it would make any difference whatsoever. All right.
Well, it's frustrating.
Just discrimination is all it was.
infuriate me to such a point that I would do more work in spite of, not because of.
In 1987, Crone became the
I think it's just, I just think it's like weird genderfied club stuff, right? Like, you're not in the club. We don't want you in the club. We can't talk about assaulting women if you're here. I don't fucking know. What are men talking about that they need to keep it in the club?
Alright, really, really, really short racist. That's all I have to say.
Yeah.
Or, not racist. They can't be racist, right? They're just sexist. Sorry.
Yeah,
bigots.
sexist.
Let's call them bigots.
Yes.
Really, really short bigots. A woman can't ride a horse, huh?
I mean, women are more horse people than men are, as far as I know. Women love horses.
Yep. And it's so much easier to find smaller women than it is smaller men, I would think. Yeah.
I'm sure you can talk about it for days and days. Like, is it because they were scared she'd get injured? And if she's injured, she can't have babies, and that's what women are for, right? So, so dumb.
But it was 1993 when she became enshrined in horse racing history as the first woman to win a Triple Crown race.
Hell yeah!
To win the 120
Fuck the haters!
Belmont Stakes, a race she grew up watching as a little girl.
Oh my god! Look at her, she's so adorable.
Oh.
Something, and like I was a girl, and I was like in Michigan with my mom watching Steve Coffin win the Belmont, get affirmed.
She still wasn't done making history. In 2000, she
Steve
became
Coffin,
the first
I remember
woman to
him.
be inducted into the National
Steve
Museum
Coffin
of
was
Racing
famous for
Hall of
being the
Fame.
youngest jockey
In
to win a
2003,
race.
she became the first woman to win a Breeders' Cup race, riding half bridle.
I mean, that's the problem when you're the first of everything. You do make history constantly, because literally no one else has done it.
Says knowing she secured her place in history among the best trainers and jockeys in the industry.
Because it's not as simple as just like getting on the horse, right? You have the people in the organization have to accept you as an official jockey. It's a systematic
the horses will
acceptance.
accept you.
Oh, yeah, that's true as
The
well.
horses will accept you first of all, right?
Be sure to hit the like, subscribe, and notify buttons, and follow our other channels, Toxic Alley, History of Gravy, and Scratchy Old Records.